That's the joke.
So you're watching Enter the Anime, and I know what you're thinking. Satumi, don't you have a life? No, I don't. That's why I'm watching a Netflix documentary about anime. And you might be thinking, what's so special about a Netflix documentary? And well, a documentary about anime doesn't really exist. If you Google search anime documentary, you don't really have much to work with. Which is why this is such a big deal. And just look at how happy people are about it. So I'm going to do something that has never been done before on the entirety of this website. I'm going to have a face cam. Isn't that crazy? Whoa! Now, I don't know much about anime. I don't know how it's made, who's in the industry, trends, whatever. I'm a filthy casual, which means I'm the perfect audience for this documentary. If it's meant to teach me about anime, then I'm willing to learn. But something tells me that I won't learn a damn thing. But because I didn't invest my points in speech, I wasn't very articulate, so I have to cut in some commentary in order to explain myself. Also to avoid copyright.
The dark, twisted, crazy world of anime.
What? I don't understand what's going on here.
So the documentary begins with Alex, the narrator. Well, the narrator is being voiced by another person. Anyways, she's making a point on how different Japan is compared to a Western country. And this is going to be a very important theme moving forward. Because at this point, you should have realized that you're going to be watching a travel vlog filled with 10-minute long commercials about Netflix.
Netflix?
To Netflix. To a Netflix show, Netflix said.
ネットフリックスは忘れちゃったけど
If I kissed even a fraction of that much ass, I'd drown myself in shame.
Now this wouldn't be a problem if she was just honest about her intentions. At least then I can accept a documentary about a Western millennial woman learning that Asians exist. She is honest about the fact that she knows nothing about anime though.
I became immersed in something I knew nothing about. Whether you're an anime newbie like me or an otaku fan.
And Netflix hired her to do a documentary about anime. They hired a person that knows nothing about anime to do a documentary about anime. Why? Well, the answer is actually very simple. It's because she did an interview for Netflix, and she suggested the idea of a documentary. Now this is not a jab on her, because her heart's in the right place. This is a jab on the anime industry. Are you telling me that out of all these years that anime has existed, not a single person in the industry wanted to make a documentary about anime? I know there are documentaries of Hayao Miyazaki, but that's not all of anime. I know YouTubers exist, but nobody in the mainstream cares about them. So now the only documentary that tries to explain anime to the mainstream is Netflix propaganda.
It became an obsession.
You became obsessed with Netflix
anime.
anime.
Soul. Tap into the genius minds that create it and look behind the veil
of Netflix anime.
This would be an epic anime quest.
Bruh.
Come on, baby, America. So how does a culture like this create this?
Throughout this documentary, Alex likes to ask these rhetorical questions.
What makes Japan its birthplace? What is creativity? So, how does manga become anime? How do they keep going, running on no sleep, and having to come up with creative innovation?
But it's just an excuse to segue from one interview to the next. It's almost like she didn't have an actual direction.
Yeah. I didn't know what to do.
So she shot a bunch of interviews and then hired a writer to figure it out. So this documentary has to rely on the exotic nature of Japan just to have a structure.
Instagram isn't a waste of time. It's inspiration, right?
No! Not enough research went into why Japan is the way it is. The documentary would rather waste its time on various trivia about Tokyo, things that you can literally just Google. And it's important that I emphasize Tokyo because Alex never leaves Tokyo. At least she never gave an indication that she did. So she spends most of the documentary calling Japan crazy.
Crazy world. Crazy, crazier. You say crazy? I mean crazy.
And that's just really rude, because one city does not represent an entire country. And one other thing, Japan is not weird or crazy, they're just different. Every country has their own quirks. As an American, how can we call Gothic Lolita crazy when we gave birth to furries?
How do you sleep at night?
On top of a pile of money with many beautiful ladies.
Like many Westerners, I thought of anime as an endless parade of Hello Kitties dressed as wide-eyed schoolgirls riding rainbow ponies.
Like many Westerners? Who are you talking about? If you don't know what anime is, then you don't know. But to say that anime is some exotic media from a distant country, it's disingenuous. Anime has become such a worldwide phenomenon that you can't ignore it anymore. Unless you're appealing to boomers, which given the nature of this documentary,
I'm from the future, I'm not from this timeline.
probably not. Most people have heard about Dragon Ball, Naruto, Sailor Moon, Studio Ghibli, or Pokemon. I know Netflix wants to promote their own anime, but if I'm not familiar with your anime, then why should I care? In fact, why should I keep watching? You can't call it an anime documentary if you don't even mention the anime that people know about.
Even Hollywood is influenced by anime.
Yeah.
The editing.
The interviews are nothing more than commercials for their respective anime. The people being interviewed are pretty cool, and honestly, it's the best part about this documentary, even though the information they give out is very superficial and practically useless.
一番最後にググった言葉は何ですか？だけどネットフリックス。
But apparently, that wasn't enough. So Alex asked her editors to get creative and bombard the interviews with various graphical sloppy seconds. So much time was spent on the visual effects that Alex had to hire 4 editors for a 1-hour documentary. Now you might be thinking, Satumi, it can't be that bad. And you're right, it isn't. They actually looked great. On an Instagram AMV. This type of editing style is called fast cutting, and it's mainly used in music videos or advertisement. I use this style a lot for my videos. I'm trying to stop because it's killing me. Also, it gets old and annoying, which is why those kinds of videos are short. Now imagine if I took that ADHD style and applied it to a 1-hour documentary. Oh wait. I can go on and on about the editing choices, but the main point is that the editing in this documentary serves no purpose. It's just there to look cool, and it's distracting. When you watch a documentary, you are supposed to learn things. When you put in a different visual effect in every second, you start to pay more attention to what you're seeing than what's being said. Especially when they are speaking in a language that you don't understand. Obviously, there are exceptions, but for a documentary, you don't want to do that because you're disrespecting the person being interviewed. I started to bitch about how awful the visual effects are and started to ignore the people being interviewed. And I feel awful that I'm not paying attention to what anyone is saying, because what they're saying is interesting. But I guess the director felt like it wasn't enough to keep people engaged.
Right.
So she decided to make it fast-paced for people who have low attention spans. People with low attention spans aren't going to watch an hour-long documentary. They're going to watch anime. Now we're going to go through all the commercials. Some of them will include my reaction to the editing, because I don't want to get traumatized again.
The edgiest anime creator in LA. They call him the Quentin Tarantino of digital age.
Who calls him that? Adi Shankar. He's a time traveler that owns a dog. Also, he made Castlevania, but I'm still going to swipe left because he's a little conceited.
How did Castlevania go from being a beloved video game series that was kind of dead to a Netflix show that...
You just answered your own question.
A beloved video game series.
Now the editing actually makes sense for this guy. He's very creative, so it makes sense for the editing to get crazy. But I couldn't take it.
What is creativity?
Okay, so they're done with that section. That was basically how great Castlevania was. Yeah, that made me not want to watch Castlevania. Seeing that guy with all those glitchy colors, overlay effects, just turned me the fuck off. It was honestly very distracting. Like, I couldn't pay attention to what he was saying because all these effects and all these noises were just like... It's just a bunch of cocks. Just a bunch of dicks It's like when you're watching a bukkake and the girl is in the middle, but then you see a bunch of dicks coming out of the frame, and then you start paying attention to the dicks. That's when you know that you're probably gay. Oh crap, I lost focus. Just like the entire interview! LaShawn Thomas. His name is 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 LaShawn Thomas. Did you fucking get his name? LaShawn Thomas is a nice guy. He's very down to earth. I would love to be friends with him. So why the hell did you edit in a shitty mirrored split screen for him? You didn't even center it properly. Now here's me getting cucked by the split screens.
Consuming Japanese animated TV shows through VHS tapes illegally recorded in locations in Chinatown.
Why are you doing split screens? Can you stop? Like, if I did that, it would be annoying. Toshiki Hirano is the director of Baki, and he's being interviewed by a professional weeb. This is the worst interview in this entire documentary. Not because of the interview, but because the editing is literally if Pablo Picasso discovered Sony Vegas. The editing was so bad, it gave me a virginity just so it could fuck me. Most of my bitching came from this interview, so I'm just going to let it all out. Do you see the shot? Why is he cut out? Half of his face is missing. Look at all this dead space. They thought this was a good idea to put a split screen? See, now that looks fine. Well, now they're zooming out because they fucked up. Why did they fuck up? What is going on? Look at all these effects. I just want to watch the anime. Why are you putting so many? I hope that's not in the actual anime because that's just so bad. But look at this. What is this? Why are they filming his mouth? What is going on here? The camera's insane. Keep the camera fucking still. There's a tripod. Tripods exist for a fucking reason. Oh my god, I didn't know Raz got so mad. Look, now it's fine. Now it's fine. Like, figured it out. What the fuck is the shot? Bro! Calm your fucking angles. What? Ooh! Oh, I can't take this. I can't even pay attention to what they're saying because the visuals are so stupid. Like, I wanna listen, or at least I wanna read what they're saying, but god damn! Wait, why is the lighting? It's almost like they weren't in the same room. Like those two, like if we go back to this shot right here, like not only is the lighting completely different, it almost seems like they shot this in 2 separate days. Like they interviewed this guy, fuck, I forgot his name. See, now look how bad this documentary. I don't even know who this guy's name is. Like, I know we made Baki, but I don't know his name because I was so distracted by the goddamn fucking visuals. But anyway, the point is, it seems like they shot this in 2 separate days because I don't think they were in the same room together. Because not only is there a split screen for no reason, you couldn't just have them together, close together. How far are they? How far are they? Not only that, the lighting is off. The color is off. Look how dark this is compared to this. They're compensating with bad production by suggesting that they'll just fix everything in post. But they just made everything worse in post. They agree. Yeah, I noticed. Your editor doesn't either.
And there they were. The golden words of anime.
I don't give a fuck?
But unlike Baki, I did give a fuck.
I don't care. I don't care what you think.
I took to the streets to ask the fans.
NANI?! Kengan Ashura had 3 interviews. They were all great. Because not only did the editing finally calm down after it had its way with me, they actually let the people talk. One of them didn't even need to talk. His phone talked for him. He also made a Dororo reference. This man is a hero. I also finally learned something important in anime. Okay. So we finally learn that anime is hand-drawn. It took 20 fucking minutes, but now we know that anime is hand-drawn. Kozo Morishita is the chairman of Toei, and this was by far the most insightful interview. We actually learn a little bit of history. It's too bad I've became a cynical asshole because of my previous experiences, so I can't appreciate it properly. See, now that's interesting. Like, that's so much more interesting. We could have made a whole documentary about this. But Netflix wanted to jerk themselves off. Look at all these people, like, doing all this. And you'll never learn how they're doing it. Or what they're doing. You just see a computer and software, and then anime is created. A lot of it is just nitpicking, but I feel justified because this documentary seems like it's made for, like, children. Yoko Takahashi was the rehab that I needed to prepare myself for whenever I need to find the courage to report Baki for fucking me. Oh, we're gonna talk about Evangelion? Nice. Hey. Hey, she gave the tab! Oh, she's so pretty. Damn. That's rad. No, that's a dress. I'm not talking because I actually wanted to listen to what she's saying. You see? Oh, have you noticed that because the visuals aren't garbage, I can actually watch this documentary? It hasn't been a split screen effect in, like, the last minute. Wow. It's like, if you just make it a normal documentary, people will watch it and actually pay attention. Wow. Although sometimes she does find ways to offend me. Ooh, that was a rough keyframe. What the f- wait, go back. What was that? What was that? Okay, split screen. Why is there a bunch of black space here? What the fuck happened? Did the guy accidentally, like, shift this? Was there supposed to be something there? Did the editor just shift the footage over without realizing it? You think I wouldn't notice a black screen? The commercials for Rilakkuma and Agretsuko were my support system during this difficult time in my life. And I actually started to feel hopeful again. I feel like I'd enjoy this more if I actually watched the animes they were promoting. Like, it's kind of cool to learn their process, but I was expecting more. Actually, I wasn't expecting anything. It's Netflix. This is the only one where I actually feel the need to want to watch. They do a very good job promoting this movie. It's cute, the techniques are cool, they're actually telling you what they did, and the editing calmed the fuck down. Seven Seeds was about how progressive anime in Japan can be, and girl power. And as an anime girl going through a really rough time, I felt empowered. Unfortunately, this was also when I screwed up and accidentally switched the audio tracks to English descriptions, which means that the narrator would narrate everything happening on screen. This is meant for the blind, and this also affected the next commercial, so I didn't get the chance to understand the message because I was too busy bitching about the dubbing that wasn't supposed to be there. Here's how mad I got.
Caption, Kenji Kamiyami, director, Ultraman. Subtitles, I used to want to...
Oh no, I can't believe it would get worse in a production standpoint. This is so bad. This is bad. She's gone to the point where it's like 44 minutes in, she hasn't been doing anything like this, and now she decides to hold my hand. I don't want to hold your hand. That's fucking lewd. Why is audio description on? I'm retarded. We finally get to Polygon Pictures, and after 50 minutes, they finally decide to give us a crash course on how anime is made. Except for some weebs, 3D CG is not considered anime. But that wasn't enough for me, so I just started pausing the documentary just to read computer screens. You know, honestly, I could probably watch the exact same documentary with the exact same themes done by someone that probably knows what they're talking about for free on YouTube. Nah. Anime. Oh, finally. Are they finally gonna talk? Oh, it's been 50 fucking minutes and they're finally gonna talk about anime. Not exactly anime. They're gonna talk about the 3D CG. You don't get to learn about the anime. All I know is that people draw. There's no process. There's no like structure on how they draw. They just draw and it just becomes an anime. That's all I know now. From watching 50 minutes of this, that's all the information I gathered from anime. The other information I gathered was like, oh, you should watch our anime. Our anime is great. It's got meaning. It's based on my dead grandma. Modeling. Cool. So they're not going to tell you. At least they give you the courtesy of showing you the screen. So we're actually going to look at the screen and see what they're using. So they're using Autodesk Maya 2015? Wait. Really? And I know they're not going to go into too much detail because those are industry secrets anyways. But it would have just been nice to like acknowledge the amount of hard work that they have to do just to make a model. Like, we never get this sense of like, anime is hard to make. They make it seem like, oh, you just need to be kooky and crazy, and then you can make an anime. But no, it's not just that. There's a lot of collaboration, there's a lot of work, there's a lot of intelligence and lots of knowledge of software and artistry. Don't forget the artistry. This is more of a tech demo than, you know, even then, tech demos, you can learn stuff from a tech demo. This is just a demo reel. This is an hour-long glorified demo reel for Netflix anime. That's all this is. The final interview is with the producer of Be the Beginning, Rui Kuroki, and this is the second worst interview, and not because of the editing, but because of the actual interview. It's supposed to be like a police interrogation, but they ask the most useless questions that I have a feeling that I'll never get justice. This interview was so bad, it makes those interviews that you see in pornos seem like Citizen Kane.
名前は黒木瑠衣。年齢は41歳。出身地は東京。
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. How old are you?
20.
20?
Yes.
And you're about to make your first adult video.
Yes.
How do you feel?
I'm not really nervous.
ここにはどうやって来ましたか？車で来ました。ペットを飼ってますか？飼ってない。犬と猫どっちが好きですか？好きな食べ物は？カニ。
And have you done any photo shoots before?
No.
No, nothing at all?
No.
So...
好きな色は？黒。好きな映画は？ゴーストバスターズ。
So what made you want to come do your first porn video?
今日は昼何を食べたか？
Right now, working full-time as a barista isn't really paying the bills.
尊敬する人は？尊敬する人か。父。
Inspiration. I thought he said Ochinchin. Oh no, I'm a pervert. I don't have time. It's subtly suggesting that all these people don't have personal lives because they work in anime. They just live to work. And I feel like Alex wanted to like make a documentary about overworked people in Japan, but Netflix was like, no, we can't do that. We can't put down the industry or criticize the industry because we're part of the industry now. So if we criticize the industry, we'll just make ourselves look bad. But there's a lot of subtle like things where they talk about, oh, I don't have time to eat, or I just want to go to sleep. So I don't know. There's other examples that this documentary did, but a lot of it is just like they really, really want to touch on the idea of like overworked creators. Yeah, so yeah, this whole documentary was just to shill for their own anime. Before I watched Enter the Anime, I saw another documentary from a small YouTuber named iDubbbz. It was called Full Force, and technically, it's an amateur documentary compared to the Netflix one, although it should be the reverse, but whatever. Now, Full Force is about a fat guy named Chris from Michigan, and that's all I'm going to say. Now, would you rather watch a documentary about some fat guy, or a documentary about a woman trying to learn about an art form? If you thought the fat guy documentary sounds more interesting, it's because it is. It sounds more personal, therefore it's relatable. Throughout Full Force, we learn about Chris's problems, his goals, his friends, and his demons, all through the eyes of iDubbbz. It does help that iDubbbz is hilarious, but ignoring that, you can actually see him go on a journey in his documentary. iDubbbz went in there with the intent to just record cringe, and by the end of it, he learned to appreciate Chris and what he represented. He didn't need to hire a writer for his story, because he already knew how to tell his story, because his experience was genuine. Meanwhile, Alex went on a business trip, shot a bunch of interviews, and realized she needed to link the interviews together, so she hired a writer. And that writer wrote a bunch of superficial rhetorical questions about creativity, and just googled a bunch of Japanese trivia just to fill time. Enter the anime is not genuine. It's just a marketing tool to condition millennials to watch anime so that they don't cancel their Netflix membership. There's no story here, and if there was, it wouldn't be profitable. Which is a goddamn shame, because if you take a look at all the people that were interviewed, all those people were genuine. They were all passionate about their craft. They made sacrifices in order to create something they love, and this documentary felt that visual effects were more important than the actual story. The real story. Not about Alex's personal journey, but the medium. A medium that was created to give children hope after a devastating war. A medium that gave birth to incredible stories that millions of people can watch. A medium that has created communities where they can laugh, cry, and meme. A community that is willing to put their money where their mouth is and help the people that are in need. That medium is anime. And these people are more than just a corporate mouthpiece. Anime isn't just for misfits by misfits. Anime is for everyone that is willing to accept it for what it is. And at the end of the day, the only thing I have to say about this documentary is, anime deserved better.